Last year, I had the incredible opportunity to be a guest speaker on Eberhard Wolf's podcast about software architecture. Recently, Eberhard invited me back for a deep dive into software architecture as job, where I was tasked with answering 12 thought-provoking questions. Among them, one question stood out and made me pause. What was your worst professional moment? Now, let me tell you, I had my fair share of downtimes and bad moments throughout my career. It's something we all go through. But when young professionals reach out to me with kind words like, I want to learn from you, can you be my mentor? Or, you are a valuable asset in the software industry, I often think to myself, if only they knew about all the setbacks and failures I faced. Would they believe me if I told them how many times I've been fired from a job? Probably not. Out of all my unhappy professional experiences, I had to choose the worst moment to answer Eberhard's question. What I initially thought would be a brief response turned into a narrative that deserves to be shared in a video. So grab a seat and join me. The early struggles. Like many, the beginning of my career was marked by a steep learning curve and bouts of imposter syndrome. It might sound cliche, but these struggles are unique to each individual, shaped by our levels of self-confidence, assertiveness, vulnerability, and communication skills. Moving to Germany and working in a new language brought its own set of challenges. My lack of fluency led to communication problems, compound with my underdeveloped soft skills at the time. However, the hardest professional moment I had was yet to come. My first job as an AWS DevOps developer in a system with thousands of users and about 5,000 queries per second stand out as one of the most challenging periods of my career. At that time, my experience with AWS was more theoretical than practical, and I had no background in Python. Suddenly, I was thrown into a complex system with about 60 microservices implemented in Java and Python using CQRS or Command Query Responsibility Segregation and event-driven architecture with Action Server. I felt like a novice surrounded by jargon such as infrastructure as code, Terraform, Fargate, EKS, CloudWatch, and the massive Grafana dashboard displaying real-time metrics. It was overwhelming. But the worst part, I wasn't a junior developer. After more than a decade as a software engineer, I started to feel confident in my technical skills, often mentoring and coaching my colleagues. The expectation was for me to hit the ground running, to be productive and navigate this complex system with ease. However, the time allotted for me to master these new technologies was limited compared to a junior developer. My team, already familiar with the system, couldn't see the complexity I faced, making my struggle and the pressure to perform even more intense. Instead of spending my initial days reviewing and analyzing the source code, as I usually did, I found myself constantly asking Google, what is a task lab? What is Terraform? What does infrastructure as code mean? What is Action Server? How could it replace a relational database and why? What is local stack? How could Grafana and CloudWatch work together? Why are some of our lambdas written in Python while others are in Java? What's the difference between a lambda and a Fargate? When is Fargate a better choice? What's Flask? How do you change a Python app from lambda to Flask? Does AWS has a service for Flask? These questions, which should have been about the project-specific implementations, were basic inquiries about the tools and concepts themselves. I recalled a conversation with Ale Shiben, co-founder at Clotho and an ex-Microsoft and ex-Riot engineer. He mentioned how modern cloud and infrastructure technologies require fang-level engineers with deep technical expertise, which doesn't always speed up feature development. The complexity of modern applications requires backend developers to master a growing array of tools, technologies, and techniques. He said, curious about how long it would take me to become productive, I reached out to a friend who is AWS certified. How much time would I need to prepare for an AWS certification? Is a week enough? I asked. A week? He replied, surprised. If not just 2 to 3 days, I joked. He chuckled and said, I would need at least a month. Embracing the challenge. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that my initial confidence was based on a false assumption about my competencies and the state of the market. I underestimated the complexity and the pain involved in keeping up with the rapid pace of technological change. But I also learned valuable lessons. I discovered the importance of deep domain knowledge and the necessity of continuous learning. I started exploring tools like Clotho, which can decouple application concerns from unstructured ones, simplifying the development process. Moving forward, to sum it up, while my worst professional moment was fraught with the challenges, it ultimately paved the way to my personal and professional growth. If you are facing a tough time in your career, remember that these experiences can be the stepping stones to greater success. Embrace the challenges, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Don't wait until you face the monster to start learning how to tame it. Be proactive, stay curious, and continue evolving. Hopefully, this story will inspire you to persevere through your own challenges and recognize the value of the lessons learned along the way. Excited about diving deeper into the world of software architecture? This video is just the beginning. Check out my Udemy video course on software architecture, where I explore these concepts further and dive into real-world challenges. The link to the course is in the video description below. And here is a bonus. Subscribe to my newsletter and you will get free access to all my courses. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more updates and tech insights. See you next time.